On our news at 7, Prime Minister Davis says read it for yourself, telling reporters he sees no mention of corruption in a recent court ruling in favor of CCA. Plus, residents are celebrating the long overdue groundbreaking for an $8 million state-of-the-art clinic for the island of Eleuthera. And more chances to win. Our Marlena Leonard takes you on a test drive inside the brand new electric vehicle Our News wants to give you this holiday season. And then in Our News at 7:30, a lawyer for the embattled North Abaco MP urging jurors to acquit him of charges of rape, assault, and threats of death. We have the details on these stories and more as Our News Live at 7 starts now. Welcome to Our News Live at 7. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Megan Shepard. Prime Minister Philip Davis is speaking out weeks after a new court ruled in favor of Bahamar developer Sarkis Marillion. Davis dispelled talks of corruption in the then PLP government. His comments come as China Construction America appeals the New York court's ruling. Berthany McDermott has the details in this report.
China Construction America is now appealing that $1.6 billion ruling in favor of Bahamar developer Sarkis Marillion. A CCA spokesman stating the decision is by no means the last word on the matter. The court found that CCA committed material breaches of the parties' investor agreement by requesting $54 million from BML Properties, a company owned by Ismailian, to pay subcontractors, but instead used it to purchase the Hilton Hotel in downtown Nassau. The statement from the CCA spokesperson said the appeal is the first step towards correcting a ruling that misapplies basic principles of New York law, misconstrues core facts, and completely overlooks the consistently tireless construction work done by CCA Bahamas. That appeal is dated October 29, 2024. On the sidelines of a groundbreaking ceremony for a clinic in Palmetto Point, Eleuthera, Prime Minister Philip Davis sought to dispel talks that the ruling alludes to corruption by the then Perry Christie-led government.
I've had the opportunity to have a cursory glance of the ruling. I don't see any mention in the ruling of corruption at all. I invite you all to read it to see whether you all have seen it.
The Prime Minister also shot down claims the ruling will turn away future foreign investors from the Bahamas. The Supreme Court ruling also outlines how the defendants used CCA consultant Leslie Bethel to access his father, Sir Baltrin Bethel, in a bid to secure the government's favor and support in getting rid of BML Properties Limited. Sir Baltrin served as senior advisor to then Prime Minister Perry Christie. Well, our news attempted to get a response from the former PM on the matter.
Christie, just your response to that Bahamar ruling, considering you were Prime Minister at the time.
Do you think an apology should be issued to Mr. Marillion?
Davis has directed the Attorney General to conduct a review of the ruling. Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell has criticized the ruling, accusing Ismailian of seeking to tell a narrative that does not line up with the facts. Many have questioned his position as a minister of the government.
He is speaking as leader, as chairman of the political party of which he's a chairman. And if there are any castigations or broadsides on the political party, he has the right to defend that.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
Thanks so much, Berthany. While government breaking ground on an $8 million medical facility in Palmetto Point, Eleuthera today. Residents say it's long overdue and they're looking forward to enhanced healthcare services once the state-of-the-art clinic opens its doors. Our Delvado Emmanuel was in Eleuthera for the event.
The government is honoring long-standing promise to provide quality healthcare services to all Bahamians, including those in the island of Eleuthera. Today, officials broke ground on a new state-of-the-art facility set to span 4 acres and carry a price tag of over $8 million. Central and South Eleuthera MP and Works Minister Clay Sweeting says this project marks a major milestone in healthcare access for Eleuthera.
For far too long, our people have had to suffer for the lack of proper medical resources, emergency care, and morgues on the island that is accessible to all persons regardless of financial capabilities. Right now, if your loved one passes away, they have to go to the morgue in Spanish Hills. So in 18 months, that no longer will be an issue.
Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville says the medical center will be outfitted with a morgue, a fully equipped laboratory, and have telemedicine capabilities.
Specialized areas will include a dental room, a fully modernized surgical suite, 2 overnight recovery beds on the ward, and a comprehensive care program that will be established on the island. The design will feature hurricane impact windows and doors to ensure resilience in the face of natural disasters.
Prime Minister Philip Davis also attended today's groundbreaking, saying it's a part of his administration push to provide health care for all.
The Tornado Point Clinic is part of a wider policy agenda set to transform the healthcare landscape of the Bahamas and enhance access for vulnerable populations, such as elderly persons with disabilities on our family of islands.
Now, if you look behind me, this is the property of the future healthcare facility. Now the shovels are in the ground. Officials say development should be completed within the next 15 to 20 months. Coming to you from Palmetto Point, Eleuthero, I'm Delvardo Emmanuel.
Thanks, Delvardo. Well, a man accused of a shooting that left a 20-year-old man with serious injuries has been granted $20,000 bail. 47-year-old Levardo McKenzie faces charges of attempted murder and possession of a firearm with intent to endanger life in connection with the October 5th shooting of Cameron Willie Dean. The shooting took place outside a bar in Greencastle, Eleuthera, and is believed to be connected to the stabbing of another man earlier that day. As a condition of bail, McKenzie has to wear an anklet bracelet, sign in at a police station, and keep a curfew. A family is left in mourning after two men who are brothers-in-law died after a fight inside a home on Muttonfish Drive last night. Police told reporters on the scene that they got the initial call just after 5 p.m. Officer in charge of the East Street South Police Station, Superintendent Jamal Evans, picks up the details from here.
Based on information gathered here at the scene, we do know that two males, they are related. Information is thus far is that both males were involved in an altercation which turned physical. A cutlass was introduced. One of the males was chopped about the body. And as a result, a fight ensued. Physical, one of the males, he was found lifeless on the inside of that residence.
Now, the second man was taken to hospital, but police say he died a short time later. Police investigations continue. Well, you've probably heard about our upcoming Ride Easy with Our News giveaway with Easy Car Sales, where you can enter to win an all-electric BYD 2024 Yuan Pro SUV. Tonight, we're taking you on a test drive and giving you a closer look at the car that could be yours. Our Melina Leonard tells us more.
The BYD Yuan Pro has everything one needs for navigating Nassau roads. Rugged enough for the terrain, seats that go down to expand trunk space for deliveries or day-to-day errands, and of course, the all-electric engine that saves you thousands a year after you dump the pump. The best part of it all, thanks to the Ride Easy with Our News partnership with Easy Car Sales, it could be yours.
We are giving away a Yuan Pro, a BYD Yuan Pro. And it's a lovely compact Jeep. It's super useful for an individual, a couple, a small family, or even for a business because the seats go down. So if you're a massage therapist, you can put your stuff there if you're delivering. So it's good for commercial and for personal use.
We got to go on a test drive with sales executive at Easy Car Sales, Dion Longley, where we got to see for ourselves why there are over 100 Yuan Pros from Easy Car Sales on the road right now.
Electric cars are very safe. They've been crash tested. We've also had the fire department visit Easy Car Sales as well.
There's one special feature in the Yuan Pro that really stood out for me, something I'm sure most would appreciate in the long, hot summer months in the Bahamas.
I could always cut my car on from the inside of my house by simply pressing down on this button. The lights will indicate when the car is on. So I come to my window, it's a hot day, listen, I can't deal with a hot car, just let me cut it on from the window and boom.
And with all of the rain we saw this summer, driving through those flooded roads could also be less stressful with an electric vehicle.
In fact, driving an electric car through water, it's very interesting to see the gas cars on the side of the road that didn't make it. Because we don't have an exhaust, because we're not burning anything. So the water doesn't come in through the exhaust, for example. Obviously, if you get to flood levels, any car at a certain point will not work. But water is not a problem. You don't have to worry about it.
Plus, the savings go beyond skipping the pump. We got to take a peek at what's under the hood.
Besides gas and saving, with this individual, who gets their car with the Yuan, another saving will be in here. You see what I mean? No spark plugs. You don't have to buy them anymore. Filters, right. That's pure electric.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Marlena Leonard.
Now, if you can see yourself riding off in a brand new electric vehicle this holiday season, head on over to ournews.bs to enter. There you'll find the Ride Easy with Our News banner, answer the question correctly, and you're automatically entered to win a new electric vehicle courtesy of Our News and Easy Car Sales. Good luck. Well, beautiful weather on this Hump Day Wednesday. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is standing by in the Weather Center with the first look at temperatures. Greg?
I need one of those.
I think you should enter to win.
I need one of those.
You look good in that, Greg.
It's been a nice and lovely day around the islands. High pressure is in charge, and that high pressure is going to dictate our weather for the next several days. As a matter of fact, this high is going to dictate our weather all the way into next week. It's a massive high that's sitting off the east coast of the United States. That's going to continue to provide us with the breezy conditions. 79 degrees is our current temperature outside under partly cloudy skies. We had some brief passing showers earlier. East winds 21 miles per hour. Your field slate temperature is at 77. Taking a look at temperatures around the islands tonight across the northwest Bahamas, 78 in Freeport, 77 in Marsh, Abaco, 81 Alistown, Bimini, Nickel, San Andres, 80, pair of 70, well actually triple 79s. Great Harbor Key here in the capital and in Governor's Harbor. And into the central Bahamas, 80 in Kemps Bay and Deadman's Key, 81 Arthurstown, Cat Island, Georgetown, Coban Downs in Salvador, you guys are 78, Southeast Bahamas, 82 in Ragged Island, 80 in Colonel Hill, Cricket Island and Delectable Bay, 81 in Abrahams Bay and Matthew Town in Nagua, are very good neighbors to the Southeast Turks and Caicos Islands. You got a temperature right now of 79. Satellite radar composite, it's quiet across area. As I mentioned, high pressure is in charge. A dry air mass is filtering in across area, but that stiff easterly and northeasterly wind bringing in some low-level moisture, so that resulted in a couple of isolated showers. Most of the activity now moving between Andros and the Florida coast. There's an upper level low spinning across the southeast Bahamas. That's actually providing a lot of that cloudiness and moisture across the Hispaniola and Puerto Rico area. That will exit the area, so looking for some very nice conditions, except it's going to be very breezy, so beaching and boating will still remain a challenge. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Thanks, Greg. Still to come on Our News, Bahamar Culinary and Arts Festival dubbed a huge success as foodies from near and far enjoyed the flavorful talents of local and international chefs. But first,
coming up in sports, not so fast, the Yankees aren't done yet. DA joins a legend in Blazer history, and Nigel Forbes is already off to a fast start at TCU.
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
This November 5th, millions of Americans will decide in a race that will define history. Kamala Harris and Donald Trump in a fight to the finish.
Perhaps not since the Civil War has this great country felt as politically, spiritually, and emotionally divided as it does then at this moment.
The world is watching, and so are we. Starting November 3rd, Our News is live from the U.S. with a Bahamian perspective, because Our News is everywhere, always there when it counts.
My name is Trey Williams. I've been a live fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentleman that came to the installation
Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. Jazz Chisholm Jr. and the Yankees rallied to keep their World Series hopes alive. New York gets to host one more game this season. Chisholm went 1 for 4, scored a run, and the Yankee lineup finally produced the offensive outburst their fans have been expecting in an 11-4 win over the Dodgers last night at Yankee Stadium. Chisholm is hitting .235 for the series with 4 stolen bases and 2 runs.
I just feel like we swing the bats really well. We got barrel on the ball, and I just feel like we went out and attacked early. You know, we know they had a bullpen game today, and we had a plan to go out there and attack them, and we did.
The Golden State Warriors were shorthanded, and Buddy Hield got off to a slow start. But it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Without Steph Curry and Andrew Wiggins in the lineup, Hield scored a team-high 28 points, and the Warriors rallied from a 20-point deficit for a 124-109 win over the New Orleans Pelicans last night at the Chase Center. Hield exploded for 19 points in the fourth and shot 9 for 18 from the field, 7 for 11 from the three-point range.
Yeah, like when Steve finds a group that is playing really well, he's going to ride that wave, and as he should, and that gives everybody energy from the bench, and that trickles down. This is a second-down effect, and starts from Draymond, Steph, all those guys preaching, and we did that all at training camp, and he found a continuity that works, a group that worked together well, and we were able to take the lead, and we were able to go up from there.
DeAndre Ayton had his best game of the season so far, but it was another loss for the struggling Portland Trailblazers. Ayton finished with 20 points and 17 boards in the Blazers' 111-98 loss to the Sacramento Kings at the Golden One Center.
Nigel Forbes and TCU got a big early season win over number 24 ranked Southern Methodist University. The sophomore sensation continued his early production and reached the medal podium several times in a 168.5 to 131.5 win over SMU. Renishka Gibbs and the women's team will compete against SMU and Arkansas November 1st and 2nd.
That'll do it for Our Sports. Stay tuned to Our News at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
When Our News comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as U.S. Vice President Harris delivered a powerful speech near the White House. This as former President Donald Trump attempting to distance himself from racist remarks made by allies at a recent New York event. And in its first annual report, the Vatican's Child Protection Commission calling for unified policies on compensating clergy abuse victims. The story when Our News returns.
Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the Our News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team, well, from the teams you already trust.
This video needs to show us on a different scale. It has to be extra. What are you? Hey, Quay.
Hey, what you saying?
Where you with?
I heard you on the bus stop with my friend.
Okay, so we want to shoot this video, and it's gonna be extra.
All right, Jim. I can just come to you. All right. I need you 25 cents no more.
My name is Trey Williams. I've been a live fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area. Once I was able to make the switch, my service and everything I needed was satisfied. My favorite feature would actually be being able to add any apps from the Play Store. It's just basically making any dumb TV a smart TV. I do a lot of back-end support, engineering support, helping clients working remotely when I'm from home. The internet is a very important aspect of my job and my life. My name is Trey Williams, and the future is home with a live fiber.
This is Our News. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. Vice President Kamala Harris delivered a powerful speech near the White House Tuesday, echoing a rally held by Donald Trump on January 6, 2021. Speaking to 70,000 supporters, Harris emphasized the contrast between her vision and Trump's actions, which she says led to the Capitol riot. She focused on her policy goals like housing, health care, and abortion rights, while underscoring a message of unity over division. Aiming to sway undecided voters, Harris pledged to seek common ground and improve Americans' lives.
On day one, if elected, Donald Trump would walk into that office with an enemies list. When elected, I will walk in with a to-do list, full of priorities of what I will get done for the American people. And I will work with everyone, Democrats, Republicans, and independents, to help Americans who are working hard and still struggling to get ahead. I have been honored to serve as Joe Biden's vice president. But I will bring my own experiences and ideas to the Oval Office. My presidency will be different because the challenges we face are different.
Meanwhile, at a rally in Allentown, Pennsylvania, former President Donald Trump attempted to distance himself from racist remarks made by allies at a recent New York event. He thanked Latinos for their support, stating, "Nobody loves our Latino community and our Puerto Rican community more than I do." Trump avoided addressing comments from comedian Tony Hinchcliffe, who disparaged Puerto Ricans and other minority groups. This as President Joe Biden criticized the rally's rhetoric on social media, calling it unconscionable and un-American.
Yeah, it's interesting because I've done more for Puerto Rico than any president by far, nobody close. I've provided historic funding, and the hospital ship, when they were hit with a couple of really bad ones right in the road. We got the ship over there with thousands of rooms, actually. It was amazing. A floating hospital, the biggest in the world. I will deliver the best future for Puerto Ricans and for Hispanic Americans.
The Vatican's Child Protection Commission called for unified policies on compensating clergy abuse victims in its first annual report Tuesday. Decades of abuse scandals worldwide have harmed the church's credibility and cost millions in settlements. The commission emphasized compensation as essential for victims' healing and aims to develop standardized procedures. A recent Vatican summit apologized for the ongoing pain of abuse victims, and the report also pushed for transparency and tougher penalties for offenders.
Nothing we do will ever be enough to fully repair what has happened. But we hope that this report and those that will come, compiled with the help of victims and survivors at the center, will help to ensure the firm commitment that these events never happen again in the church.
Still to come in our news, Today in History. Find out interesting facts about the day that was October 30th. Plus, young in age, but big in heart. A 6th grade student raising funds to donate to the fight against breast cancer. Then in our news at 7:30, the opposition leader claims the Davis administration isn't acting quick enough to clamp down on crime. The details when our news returns.
When hurricanes and emergencies strike, timely information can save lives. That's why Alive Business brings you bulk SMS messaging, your essential tool for staying informed and safe. Imagine having critical updates and safety tips delivered right to your phone, anytime and anywhere. With bulk SMS messaging, you can send real-time alerts and updates and timely notifications. When every second counts, count on Alive Business bulk SMS messaging. For more information, contact the experts. Are you ready for the stormy season? Don't wait until the storm clouds gather. Contact the experts at Alive Business today and let us help you prepare for this hurricane season. For a limited time only, you can get 50% off our Bahamas Cloud, the ultimate solution to secure your data and communications, ensuring they're accessible even in the worst of weather conditions. Don't let the storm catch you off guard this season. Stay ahead of the game with Bahamas Cloud from Alive Business.
Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the Our News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team, well, from the teams you already trust.
This video needs to show us on a different scale. It has to be extra.
On this day in Bahamian history in 1629, King of England Charles I granted a patent to the Attorney General of England and Wales, Sir Robert Heath. This patent granted Heath land in North America, which would be called Carolina and the Bahama Islands. This would mark the start of the English-British government's involvement in colonizing the Bahamas. Then in 1990, the Bahamas signed the United Nations Convention on the Rights of a Child. In 1989, against the backdrop of a changing world order, world leaders came together and made a historic commitment to the world's children, promising to protect and fulfill their rights by adopting the international legal framework. And in 2015, then bankrupt Bahamar was moved into receivership after the court approved a request for the same by lenders China Export-Import Bank. Deloitte & Touche was selected to oversee the process.
For a full recap of events that shaped the day, be sure to head to ournews.bs. Well, the Cancer Society of the Bahamas wrapping up Breast Cancer Awareness Month with dozens of donations. One of them came from a 6th grade student at St. Cecilia's Catholic School. Sean Cargill Jr. and his mom, Walia, donated the funds to the Cancer Society this week. But how did he raise the money? Well, by selling pink wristbands that highlighted the fight against breast cancer. Sean's mom says he got a lot of support from family and friends. And Family Medicine Center, which purchased 200 bands and sold another 200 at their medical offices.
I decided it's October. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And so I decided to sell my bands. It feels amazing. I am so happy because it shows that people have a heart and can do kind acts. And I was so happy when I see family, friends, and even strangers purchasing the bag.
Well, it makes me feel very happy to know that my son wanted to support and help the Cancer Society. It's heartwarming to know at such a young age that he finds it, good to support and help others.
Cancer Society of the Bahamas Administrator Aaron Storr agrees, saying it's encouraging to see young people support the cause.
With young kids like Sean giving back to the society, it really warms our heart to know that they are aware of cancer. So we really appreciate his donation, and I thought it was really nice of him to sell his bands and to show the public that kids also know about breast cancer, and they're spreading the word to let all be in the fight together.
Awesome initiative, Sean. Well, last week, the Bahamar Resort was bustling with the arrival of both international and local chefs and artisans. This as the hotel hosted their annual culinary and arts festivals. Our Danielle Miller attended the flavorful event and has the highlights.
Welcome to Bahamas Convention Center, where this and the entire hotel has been completely transformed for the Bahamas Culinary and Arts Festival. Year 3 of this festival offered attendees an abundance of visual art, informative culinary and craft demonstrations, and of course, food samples. Just like many of you at home, I am always captivated by the delicious dishes. But it is more than just a good time. The event's host, Anastasia Palacios, said the festival presented a kaleidoscope of cultures.
Much like Bahama itself, it really just celebrates the beauty of art, the beauty of culture, and I love that they invite Bahamians to be an integral part of this experience.
Now to our famous taste test.
This is our take on stukunk. Basically, everything that you would look for in a stukunk, we interpreted in a different form. It's like a spring roll form.
We have our pumpkin spice cookie dough. People know us for our smash cakes. We were the first people in the Bahamas to do smash cakes, and now we're offering cookie dough.
We have 4 specialty drinks. We have Kettle One, we have Don Julio Silva, we have Tanqueray, and we have bourbon. We have from sweet, we have bubbly, also we have sangrias.
Cheers to another tasty weekend. Reporting for Our News, I'm Danielle Miller.
Looks amazing. Thanks, Danny. Well, to watch that story again and for all of today's top stories, visit ournews.bs. That does it for Our News Live at 7. Joining us now is our Marlena Leonard with the latest headlines. Marlena.
Thanks, Megan. Well, we're looking at plans in the works for a new West End police station, and we'll tell you about the bill to address reversing gentrification. Here are your latest headlines. First tonight on Our News Live at 7:30. Closing arguments wrap up in the trial of North Abaco MP Kirk Cornish. His lawyer calling his ex-girlfriend's allegations a storybook of lies. Why her lawyer insists there's cogent evidence to convict. Coming up. And amid a surge in violence, hear the opposition leader's calls for government to speed up trials and work to revoke bail for suspects accused of serious crimes or those likely to be targeted. Plus, City in Focus. Our Italia Hall series on Freeport and the Grand Bahama Port Authority continues, taking a closer look at GBPA's handling of dilapidated buildings. And later, our Sasha Lightbourne continues to highlight women in leadership and explore why the Bahamas has yet to see a female prime minister, while Americans are gearing up for a second chance to elect the first female president. Our News Live at 7:30 is back in a moment.
This video needs to show us on a different scale. It has to be
Extra. What, eh?
Hey, Quay.
Hey, what you saying?
Where you is?
I read you on the bus stop with my friend.
Okay, so we want to shoot this video, and it's gonna be extra.
All right, Jim. I can just come to you. All right. I need your 25 cents no more.
Candino Notes here, and thank you so much for watching. Be sure and hit that follow button if you want to see more stories like this. Be sure and follow all of the Our News social media pages. And hey, don't forget, turn on your notifications so you never miss out on top stories from the team you already trust.
Bahamas, are you ready? Keep the vibe alive. Music group, along with Alpha Sounds, present the best of the best. Rake and Scrape Explosion Reloaded. This is the biggest one-day all-Bahamian concert of the year. Featuring KB, D-Mac, Abby, Mama D, Fan Sean, Shine 242, The Falcon, and more. Mark your calendars. It's going down November the 2nd at Super Club Breezes Ground. Tickets now available at BahamasEtickets.com or both Beauty Shack locations. General admission $60. VIP, Skybox, and Skypods also available. For more info, call 394-0819 or email keepthevibealive242@gmail.com. Experience the magic once again with more legends for one night only. Come party with us November 2nd at Best of the Best. Rake and Scrape Explosion Reloaded.
Welcome to Our News, and thanks for joining us. I'm Marlena Leonard, in for Italia Hall. A lawyer for North Abaco MP Kirk Cornish urged jurors to acquit him of charges of rape, assault, and threats of death, as she described his accuser as a woman scorned. Ty Pinder-Mackey called the woman's accusations a storybook filled with lies, while highlighting that the woman had been untruthful when she claimed she was a general practitioner. Cornish's accuser has a medical degree, but she isn't licensed to practice in any jurisdiction. Pinder-Mackey said that the woman failed to tell police that Cornish spat in her face after he allegedly raped her at an Airbnb in New Providence on March 24, 2023. She said that it was unlikely that she would forget such a degrading act. She also questioned why the woman traveled with Cornish back to Abaco after the incident and, quote, put herself in a position to be raped again, end quote. On the other hand, Timothy Bailey told jurors that there was cogent evidence to support convictions. He said Cornish's former girlfriend was dangerously in love, and she finally stood up after being, quote, bullied, battered, and raped, end quote. Cornish is accused of poking the woman in the eye and choking her and threatening to put a bullet in her head on January 20th, 2023. He allegedly raped the woman on March 24th, 2023, and spat in her face. He's accused of raping the woman again on April 4th, 2023, at her home. Cornish is expected to learn his fate when Justice Renee McKay turns the case over to the jury tomorrow. Free National Movement leader Michael Pintard calling on government to speed up trials and work to revoke bail for suspects accused of serious crimes. Speaking to reporters outside of the House of Assembly today, Pintard says residents are increasingly concerned about the escalating bloodshed and claims the Davis administration isn't acting quick enough to clamp down on crime.
As the country continues to struggle with escalating violence, Free National Movement leader Michael Pintard says there seems to be a lack of urgency to address the issues. Pintard also says it takes too long for murder cases to go to trial. He also pointed to the sad reality that many murder victims are on bail and says an important step is looking at the Bail Act.
And one of the arguments we put forward is that if the government has issue with the amount of persons on bail, as we do, they should then move to appeal the release of those persons and state the grounds. So if somebody has been historically violent, if they are likely to be violent if out on bail, or if they are a high-value target for some other people and could put others at risk, then the government ought to move very quickly to go to court.
His comments came after 3 men were killed in a mass shooting in Fox Hill. At that scene, Police Commissioner Clayton Fernandez revealed more than 170 people are on bail for serious crimes, something Pintard totally opposes.
I don't see how they could be more frustrated than the members of the public. We are frustrated because we are expecting, the members of the public expecting the gatekeepers, policymakers, law enforcement, to step up the actions that we take.
Now, government has tried to use programs such as urban renewal to combat crime, but Pintard says the entire structure needs to change.
So we need to get serious about having a master plan of what Over the Hill is going to look like. And the programs that already exist in other ministries, we should not be, again, duplicating them in urban renewal. Urban renewal should be a facilitator.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
Co-chair of the Urban Renewal Commission and senior pastor of the First Baptist Church, Reverend Dr. Diana Francis, is encouraging residents to find better conflict resolutions. Just last night, 2 brothers-in-law died after a fight inside of their mutton fish home. Dr. Francis says it's important for people to learn how to control emotions, as it might save your life.
We're heartbroken over situations like this. I do believe it's happening too often in our country. And I want to say to us that all of us at some point will have anger. Let's manage our anger. Don't let anger control you. Control your anger. When a person is in charge of their emotions, then they are really more powerful than someone who controls a city. So control, let's have a level of control.
Last night's incident, the latest act of violence in the country, has sparked frustration and anger among the public, with cries for answers from lawmakers. Many of these incidents, Prime Minister Philip Davis says, are retaliatory killings. Dr. Francis says it's now time to end that.
We have families that are hurting, children that are going without fathers who would have supported them. The trauma is too great. And so we have to come to some reasonable solution. We have to resolve conflict. We gotta talk it out, brothers. You know, if you kill me, I kill you, I kill your brother, you kill. When is it going to stop? Who is gonna stand and make a difference? So I want to say to people, you know, let's put the guns down, you know, and let's let the love flow.
Parliamentarians debating the Urban Renewal Authority Bill 2024 in the lower chamber this morning. The bill allows for the establishment of an authority to improve the quality of life for residents in urban communities. Minister responsible Keith Bell telling fellow parliamentarians that re-establishing traditional communities and reversing gentrification are key points in the bill and show a new approach for urban revitalization. He says too often gentrification brings economic development but displaces long-time residents. He outlined the main goals of the authority.
Section 3 of the bill establishes the authority's objectives, which are focused on organizing, coordinating, managing, and executing a variety of urban renewal programs and projects. These initiatives are designed to tackle the multi-dimensional challenges facing our urban areas. Among the objectives, Madam Speaker, is the establishment of the centers, which will serve as vital hubs of community activity, outreach, and support.
Well, we're still enjoying cooler temperatures across the country, even if it's bringing a few rain showers along with it. Joining us now is meteorologist Greg Thompson with more in your first look at weather. Greg?
Yeah, Marlene, those rain showers are quick in passing, so you might just get a little splashing on your car, maybe the road. Should be nice, but the winds are really keeping things rather comfortable, even though it's a bit of a problem for the boaters and you beachgoers. But temperature-wise, it's comfortable on the outside, 78 degrees right now, partly cloudy, and it is breezy. Winds out of the east at 18 miles per hour. It feels like temperature is at 77. Satellite and radar composites showing a high-pressure ridge dominating our area. Dry air mass is now in place, but that stiff east-northeasterly wind is bringing in some Atlantic moisture across areas, so we're seeing those quick and fast-moving showers across the islands. But that dry air mass will stay in place, and we will not see much in terms of any really significant rainfall. The winds are going to be the problem. That gale watch is still in place, so we're asking you boaters and you beachgoers to stay out of the water. It's not a good time to be out there. That's a quick check on conditions around the island. Stick with us to look at the tropics, and your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on Our News, breaking the glass ceiling or not continues as our Sasha Lightborn explores why the Bahamas is yet to see a female prime minister. Why tonight's featured voice says it's not just a question of politics, but one of culture and gender equality. Plus, City in Focus is back tonight with a closer look at GBPA's efforts to revitalize the city of Freeport. Our News Live at 7:30 is back in a moment.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
I'm Michaela Kerr. I'm an 18-year-old freshman at the University of the Bahamas, and I'm a computer science major. I'm also the NT Corporation's Youth Ambassador for the Environment, and I'm an environmentalist. My journey as the environmental advocate began with a simple yet profound realization that our environment is degrading right in front of my eyes. And being NT's Youth Ambassador for the Environment means that my words and my actions hold the power to help change the environment and the world around me. I find it exciting that I can be a student, live my life, and use my words and my voice to change the environment and world around me. Most times I think it's a privilege. It's our environment and it's our generation to own. I don't think as a young person that there's anything more rewarding than being a part of bringing awareness. I'm Michaela Kerr, and I'm making a difference in my own words.
Energy conservation is the decision and practice of using less energy. Energy efficiency means using less energy to perform the same task. Turning off lights when you leave a room. Unplugging appliances not in use. People conserve to gain more control over their energy bill and to reduce demand on the Earth's natural resources. Bahamas Power and Light Company Limited looks forward to helping our customers eliminate wasted energy. Take this journey with us as we build for better. BPL.
I love my EV,
I am Generation E.
I am Generation E.
I am Generation E.
And I am Generation E.
The fate of American politics will come down to the November 5th vote. Millions of Americans are gearing up to decide who will lead the world's most powerful country for the next 4 years. With a woman on the ballot for the second time, it again raises the question, what will it take for a Bahamian woman to even be considered for the position of Prime Minister? Here's Sasha Lightbourne with the latest in our series on Breaking the Glass Ceiling.
The name Deasante Small may be new for many in the political arena, but already she's one of the women in the Progressive Liberal Party breaking the proverbial glass ceiling. She served in the War Room, getting her start in the party's youth arm, the Progressive Young Liberals. She's had enough experience to make this assessment.
We have to mentor more women to come forward. We can't just pick up and say, okay, election's coming up, let's find some women. It takes us a little bit longer.
And her assessments on why Bahamians have yet to vote for a Bahamian female prime minister are equally as sound.
For too long, we have become stuck on women can't lead. And we see it every day, women are leading. Whether it's in the home, whether it's in our schools, our churches, we see women advancing at higher offices. And so we have to overcome that. We have to let go of that.
Small says the absence of our women from the ballot for prime minister is more than just a political deficiency. She equates it to a lack of focus on issues of equality.
No. And I think a lot of people who will measure that would say that based on have we had a woman prime minister and that would be the overall achievement. For me, that's not it. For me, the overall achievement is when we prioritize women issues.
There's also this view of why men still have the upper hand over women on the political battlefield.
Men have privilege and audacity. I've seen it in the workplace. I've seen where men will apply for jobs that they're not qualified for because they're willing to do it. I think women, we second guess ourselves.
In the Bahamian context, women have been involved in politics for as long as we've had the two-party system. Once the Progressive Liberal Party was formed, women were given key roles which led to successive wins at the polls. But Small says those roles and the posture women sometimes take are a huge determinant for how women are perceived.
If you look at any successful politician, man or woman, there's always a campaign manager, a woman general, someone running the constituency office. Even for many, it's even just a spouse who's keeping them going. There's always a woman that's making this make sense.
Reporting for our news, I'm Sasha Lightbourne.
Thanks, Sasha. And now to City in Focus, the story of Freeport. Last week, we introduced you to the Building and Development Department, which oversees the management of the city. Tonight, the Vice President addresses concerns regarding dilapidated buildings.
Dilapidated buildings have become a significant concern for residents of Freeport. It's an issue that falls under the purview of the Building and Development Department at the Grand Bahama Port Authority. Vice President Nikira Wilchcombe acknowledges this has been a sore spot for the department. She also revealed proposed legislation is in the works to enhance environmental management efforts. Recently, the department undertook a substantial project in the International Bazaar to address these concerns.
To remove most of the buildings, and I think we are I'd say about 60-70% through with some of the buildings, structures that have been in the International Bazaar for years in a dilapidated manner. And we know that we have to do away with old to make room for new. And so right now, even though the state may not be as pleasant, but it is going to make new room for the new buildings and new structures to come.
However, she's calling on owners of these structures to do their part.
If they're not doing anything with their buildings, rather than see these buildings just continue to deteriorate, contact us. Give us a call and we can see what can be done. We always encourage persons, before we take the avenue of demolishing a building, we encourage persons to fix the buildings on the outside in particular. Even if you can't get to the inner core of the building, do what is best or possible on the exterior.
The VP admits they do hear the concerns of residents.
And obviously we wish that we can do it a lot faster, but we've remained constant in our efforts. We have not, put aside this effort as saying that, we'll look at it or tackle it another time. Every year there's a budget prepared for the demolition of these buildings. And like I said, these properties don't become vested to the Grand Bahama Port Authority. The only thing we desire once we tear these buildings down is that we're recouped, and fairly so as a private company, for the cost that we would have invested in tearing these buildings down.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Italia Hall.
Thanks, Italia. Well, still on that island, plans are in the works for the construction of a new police station in the West End Grand Bahama community. West End and Bimini MP Kingsley Smith giving the update and telling reporters the new station will be state-of-the-art. The station was demolished several months ago after authorities deemed it unsafe. The building was constructed in the 1960s. Smith says the process has already begun.
We got the approval of the design from the Commissioner of Police. And so now the architect is working on the actual drawings, and hopefully they'll be finished quite soon. And then we could get approval from the Ministry of Public Works, and we could go ahead looking at sometime in the first part of next year that we could actually start the new structure, which I'm sure West Grand Bahamians will be very proud of.
Coming up in sports, the Bats in the Bronx finally came alive in the Yankees' season-saving win, and Buddy gets advice from one sharpshooter to another. Apparently, we all need advice from Reggie Miller.
Welcome to This is Cindy Blackman Santana, and you are watching The Charlie Bahama Show.
Catch The Charlie Bahama Show from New York City with the amazing drummer Cindy Blackman Santana and our very own jazz virtuoso Give Gingelin, and a few young Bahamian musicians following in his footsteps, all from New York City. The Charlie Bahama Show, every Friday night, 8 p.m. on Cable Bahamas, Channel 212.
Up. It's gonna be a ride you'll never forget. The 242 Hottest Artist is coming to give you a ride of a lifetime.
Join us as we count down the Rev Up Top 7.
Get ready to rev up. Are you ready?
This November 5th, millions of Americans will decide in a race that will define history. Kamala Harris and Donald Trump in a fight to the finish.
Perhaps not since the Civil War has this great country felt as politically, spiritually, and emotionally divided as it does then at this moment.
The world is watching, and so are we. Starting November 3rd, Our News is live from the U.S. with a Bahamian perspective, because Our News is everywhere, always there when it counts.
Welcome to Our Sports, presented by Tantier Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. Jazz Chisholm Jr. and the Yankees rallied to keep their World Series hopes alive. New York gets to host one more game this season. Chisholm went 1 for 4, scored a run, and the Yankee lineup finally produced the offensive outburst their fans have been expecting in an 11-4 win over the Dodgers last night at Yankee Stadium. He singled in the third inning and was one of the base runners to set the stage for Anthony Volpe's go-ahead grand slam. Chisholm is hitting .235 for the series with 4 stolen bases and 2 runs. That brings us to Game 5 tonight at 8:08 p.m., a rematch of the Game 1 starters. The Yankees' Garrett Cole versus the Dodgers' Jack Flaherty. The Yankees are only the 10th team to avoid a sweep after falling behind 3-0. Of the previous 9, 4 managed to force a Game 6 and 2 forced a Game 7. Neither example occurred in the World Series, but of course, Jazz thinks it can be done.
I feel like for us, it's more like, I wouldn't say more pressure, but I feel like it's more on us to go out there and win the game today. You know, we're a really good team. So we don't expect to get swept. So if we go out there 3-0, we're going to fight our hardest. And I feel like that's what we did today.
The Golden State Warriors were short-handed and Buddy Hield got off to a slow start. But it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Without Steph Curry and Andrew Wiggins in the lineup, Hield scored a team-high 28 points and the Warriors rallied from a 20-point deficit for a 124-109 win over the New Orleans Pelicans last night at the Chase Center. Hield exploded for 19 points in the fourth and shot 9 for 18 from the field, 7 for 11 from the three-point range. The Warriors fell behind early and Hield scored just 3 points in the first half on 1 for 8 shooting. Out of the break, it was a different Hield and a different Warriors team. His three at the end of the third quarter capped off the Warriors' 40-point quarter to give them an 87-79 lead entering the fourth. Golden State went on to lead by as many as 18 points for their third double-digit win in the last 4 games.
DeAndre Ayton had his best game of the season so far, but it was another loss for the struggling Portland Trail Blazers. Ayton finished with 20 points and 17 boards in the Blazers' 111-98 loss to the Sacramento Kings at the Golden One Center. He joined Hall of Famer Bill Walton as the only 2 players in franchise history to start the season with 4 consecutive double-doubles.
We played to the standards and more that we were supposed to do, and we accepted the challenge that the coaches gave us. And I'm not mad at all. I'm happy with it. To be honest, I just want to have us carry this, this momentum and physicality and how locked we are over to the next game in LA.
Nigel Forbes and TCU got a big early season win over number 24 ranked Southern Methodist University. The sophomore sensation continued his early production and reached the medal podium several times in a 168.5 to 131.5 win over SMU. Individually, Forbes finished first in the 100 fly in 47.69 seconds. Forbes was also a member of the 200 medley relay team that finished first in 1 minute 26.14 seconds. Renishka Gibbs and the women's team will compete against SMU and Arkansas November 1st and 2nd.
That'll do it for our sports. This is 10YS. All right, 1 game down. How long do they keep this going?
We need a national prayer service for the remainder of the series.
I'll tell my mom to get on it. Back to the studio.
Still ahead on Our News tonight, the breezy fall days continue. Can the cool temps make it to the weekend? Greg is back in the Weather Center with the answers in your extended weather forecast when Our News returns.
My name is Atreyu Williams. I've been a live fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent on the services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area. Once I was able to make the switch, my service and everything I needed was satisfied. My favorite feature would actually be being able to add any apps from the Play Store. It's just basically making any dumb TV a smart TV. I do a lot of back-end support, engineering support, helping clients working remotely when I'm from home. The internet is a very important aspect of my job and my life. My name is Atreyu Williams, and the future is home with a live fiber.
When hurricanes and emergencies strike, timely information can save lives. That's why Alive Business brings you bulk SMS messaging, your essential tool for staying informed and safe. Imagine having critical updates and safety tips delivered right to your phone, anytime and anywhere. With bulk SMS messaging, you can send real-time alerts and updates and timely notifications. When every second counts, count on Alive Business bulk SMS messaging. For more information, contact the experts.
Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the Our News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team, well, from the teams you already trust.
Are you ready for the stormy season? Don't wait until the storm clouds gather. Contact the experts at Alive Business today and let us help you prepare for this hurricane season. For a limited time only, you can get 50% off our Bahamas Cloud, the ultimate solution to secure your data and communications, ensuring they're accessible even in the worst of weather conditions. Don't let the storm catch you off guard this season. Stay ahead of the game with Bahamas Cloud from Alive Business.
This video needs to show us on a different scale. It has to be extra.
What, eh?
Hey, Quay.
Hey, what you saying?
Where you with?
This is our news. Welcome back. Outside of the high-pressure system that's been dominating the weather, that will likely be through the remainder of the week and into next week. So windy conditions, boating will be a challenge. Beachgoers, we're asking you to stay out of the waters. National Hurricane Center still watching that area down in southwestern Caribbean for some development, but that will be slow to occur, and that high pressure will keep most of that weather to the south and well away from us. Boating forecast, small craft remain in port again tonight through tomorrow. Beachgoers, stay out of the waters. Northeast to east winds, 20 to 25 knots. Seas 6 to 9 up to 12 feet in northeasterly swells. Tide is presently high, will be low at 1:30 in the morning. In your extended forecast, just some spotty showers expected tomorrow, but we expect much improved conditions except for the winds. They will stay with us, as I mentioned, into next week. Temperatures will be nice and comfortable in the mid-80s. Low temperatures will be in the mid to upper 70s. That's a look at our weather. Make it a great night, everybody.
All right, thanks so much, Greg. Well, on behalf of the entire team, thank you for joining us for Our News Tonight. I'm Marlena Leonard. Have a great evening, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
Hello, I'm Jerome Sawyer, and thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Now, if you want to continue to receive this great content, be sure and hit that button right over there. And don't forget to turn on your notifications. That way, you continue to get all of this great content from the team you already trust.